Hey, good morning, everybody. Mark's message. Here it is Sunday. And with all that said, I was supposed to have some ball games today. Unfortunately, here, Peachtree Corners, the peachiest place on the planet, I was even going to be nearby, but we got rained out. So be it. And, I just got the call like about 30 minutes ago, but I kind of felt compelled here on this Sunday. A lot of people worship on this particular day, some on Saturdays. And with that, I came up with this idea like, who are you? And I was sitting here, and after I hung up, I had everything ready, had all my gear ready to go. We are going to do 3 games. These were high school games, and they got, as we say, we banged them. And because there's no way you can play. Now, inside my mind, it is very sunny. It's about 86, and I'm gyrating and ready to go, getting prepared here. I'm in the office for my week, my particular week. But I really thought about like, who am I? Mark, who really are you? Where did you come from? What's the deal with you? If you ever do this to yourself, it's kind of a cool thing to do. So I simplified it. I know who I am. I'm Betty and Wayne's son. Okay? That's who I am. I am Gina's husband. And last night we celebrated 33 years of marriage. Now, that to me is so precious, precious. There are some that aren't married, there are some that go through divorces. I'm not going to get into all that. I am not one to judge, but I am very grateful. And I guess my cup is filled up with a lot of gratitude. And I truly appreciate the fact that 33 years, man. Gina, my hat goes off to you because it has been one heck of a ride. It's been bumpy at times, truly has been bumpy. There's no two ways about it. And, and then who else am I? I'm Jacob and Teddy's dad. That's who I am. So I'm grounded in who I am. And when I go back to the originators of this, Betty and Wayne's son, okay? My father was a steel worker. He taught me a work ethic. I'm proud of that. And then all I did was try to emulate that work ethic and other things that I did in my life. My dad always said, you'll find your way. You don't have to be like me, but I'm teaching you some things along the way. I am so grateful I had parents that took time to teach me life's lessons. And whenever I hit the wall and struggle with something, I kind of smile because I know my dad's probably up there saying he'll figure it out, he'll get it together. And 11 years ago, when things were really taken away from me and I hit the wall financially, it was not fun. Believe me, it was not fun. And as I'm speaking here, then other people entered into the picture. And I have to say, I got to mention some names here. Now, these I'll mention the first and last name, others I won't. And I know there's some people on here, and I'm going to recognize you in a second, but excuse my rant. I've got to personally thank gratitude, Ken Walls. And the reason I'm saying thank you, Ken, you picked up the phone and you called me. And we connected on one of your lives, and you took the time to explain to me what it is you do, how you do it, and how you could help me. And that has been one heck of a ride. I'm not going to get into it. Has it helped me as a sales professional? Absolutely. There are things that I'm doing right now I never even thought of. I mean, I just got a review, and I won't get into all that, but it was par excellence. Let's just say that. And it's because of the Grow Live, Go Live Academy. And Ken, I just want to say thank you so much. You just don't know. My growth and development is off the chart. I'd never thought I'd be doing this, talking to a camera. And as Mark always says, there's another Mark there in that academy. It's public speaking on steroids. And then I've got to reach out and say, hey, Jeffrey Gitomer, you know what? I may not agree with everything you say or do, but you know what, my man? 11 years ago, when I was knocking on doors, you kept me going, man. You were like that little guy sitting on my shoulder, that little red book of selling. Selling lawn care 11 years ago just to put food on the table. Is that crazy or what? Now I can laugh about it, but during that process, it sucked. I got to tell you, it really sucked. But that was part of my human growth and development, and I had to go through that. Another brother I'm going to reach out to, Chris Rosh. You keep me sane up here. Awesome. That bandana wearing kick ass nation of yours. And I'm one of your misfit toys out there, so to speak, Chris. But thank you for what you do. You are very compelling. You have definitely have a message. And when I started doing all this stuff with Mark's message, that's what I'm about, is trying to be a leader, a friend, and of service. And that's what I'm about. And when I was talking about the Go Live Academy, I have to mention people's first names. And I'm truly honored that I'm with you when we get together on Thursdays, like Tammy, Lynn, Mark, Glenn, Joe, Weldon, Sherry. I'm not going to read them all. Charles, Karen, Tom, Jennifer. Jennifer, yes, you are a rock star. JR, my man. Bill, you know, Leanne, Jamie. What can I say? And then there's some other guys out there I'm going to mention first names from another organization called Megamind, like Brian and Randy and Eric. And the thing I guess I'm getting at here, you know, Fido, forget it and drive on. And sometimes when I'm sitting here thinking about gratitude, you know, I am so grateful. The other night I had the privilege and honor, and I'm talking about a legend, and I mentioned about what Miles Davis's quote was about a legend. A legend, he said, is somebody with an old man with a cane, and talking to you about what he used to do. I'm still doing it. Man, this interview I had with this gentleman, Benjamin Franklin Gay III. Yes, a Southern gentleman from right here, Metro Atlanta. Ben, we miss you. We wish you were here, but we understand why you're doing what you do. And yes, it has changed since you've been here, but the stories that you tell, it's incredible. And even about your personal life, you were such a giver. Uh, I'm reading your book, The Closers, and it's not what you think it is, everybody. It's not about all these sleazy, cheesy closing techniques. That's not what Ben's writing about. And it's pretty cool. And to me, Ben emulates truth, wisdom, knowledge. He brings a style, a dignity, and a grace into the sales profession. Makes you proud that you're part of that. Um, and I just want to say thanks, Ben. And now we become friends and we're corresponding, and it's really kind of cool. So I'm going to let you know how I'm doing, thanks to you. And then this coming week on Wednesday, my brother, Kirk Smith, is coming back. Yes, he is a orchestral conductor. And you want to talk about the narrative and how it's changed? Uh, he is an African American conductor, but Kirk has a story. And I want him to share that story and beyond music, what he's also doing out there. And he is touching lives every day. And the guy gives, he talked about in our interview earlier how he talks to students and he doesn't charge them, and he's giving conducting tips, and he probably could, but he's sharing. And that's how he learned and he grew and developed as a conductor. Really unique person. So, Kirk, I'm looking forward for Wednesday and when you share your story, and then you can tell us what you're doing right now. And I'm going to hit the comments up here. I've ranted enough. And let's see who's out here. We got, okay, Steve Kelly, thank you for joining us. Awesome, awesome. Oh, yes. Let's just pop them up here. Where does this thinking come from? And why? That's a great point, man. And I'll tell you why in a second. Hey, Lynn, good morning. That was one of the people I mentioned. And thank you very much for the anniversary wishes. I truly appreciate that. So, where does this thinking come from? Well, you know what? Let's go back to that because I want to take a look at this. Is that Oinker Zoinker? Is that right? I think you got to look back at where you came from, what you're doing right now, and where you're heading. Like what's now, what's new, what's next. Kind of that type of thinking. We were all put here on this planet for a purpose. And for me, maybe it's not to be the guy, maybe it's to connect people, and I'm still trying to figure that out. And also to some of you that are in the Grow Live Academy, I want to let you know something. If you're not going live, that's cool. Maybe you got involved just for the camaraderie. Maybe you want to be part of something, and I totally respect that. Now, I was thinking about this yesterday after one of my games when I was umpiring. Not everybody's going to be a collegiate baseball player, major league baseball player, but why are you playing now? There's a lot of things you can learn. And as I told you yesterday in a quick hitter, why I like baseball so much, because it's my sanctuary. It brings me peace. It brings me joy. And even with all that chaos out there, and there is strategies, there are, mathematical dimensions when you look at a baseball field, the geometry of the sport and why it's designed the way it is, why it's a diamond. So, why? That's always a good question to ask as to why, we look inside ourselves. And I think you should. And I'm not doing this to boost up my Facebook ratings or whatever it is. This is just something I felt compelled to put out there. I know it's kind of touchy feely for some, but you got to know why you're here. You got to have a purpose. You can't just meander through life because it's not a dress rehearsal. And it just really kind of impacted me. My parents, I've been orphaned for a while now. They're both gone. And, now, with my wife, 33 years. That's awesome, and I totally need to cherish and respect that, honor that. And my two sons, man, what they've grown up to be, fine young men. So maybe personally moving down the line, I didn't have all the multitudes of dollars and cents, but someone told me, hey, man, look what you did. Look what you created. So is that such a bad thing? And a lot of times we do this quantitative analysis of how much money one makes, what's your stature in life, and everybody has something to offer. You really do. And that's your job, is to figure that out. So with all that, I just wanted to get on here as I'm sitting here and I've gotten, as I say, banged, no games, but I felt compelled to come on here and talk to everybody. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It's Monday. So I guess my question to everybody is, what are you doing today to prepare for your week, to prepare for your month, to prepare for your months, your year? Are you working on it? And that's what you got to figure out for you. And it's all about you. It's about you figuring out you and moving forward. There are a lot of people, I understand, they are hurting out there, and I get it. But it's time to move forward. It's time to stop pointing fingers. You know, it's time to understand that, you have to give to get. It's not someone else's fault where you are in life. It's time to stand up, be accountable, and just, step by step, inch by inch, move forward. It's not that difficult. And listen to others. If they're where you want to be, then plug into them. And it all goes back to what Ben Gay and I talked about the other night. Who you plugged into? Who you listening to? You know, what type of content are they giving you? It's between your ears. That's what I figured out. Developing you is upstairs. And it's okay if you struggle and fail. That's quite all right. Because a lot of people have. And that's the one thing I want to point out to everybody. Like Ben Gay. I didn't know at one point in his life he was considering suicide with a putting a gun in his mouth. I did not know that. He shared that story with us. So, regardless of how bad it is out there, he even said it's going to get better. He lived through a depression. My parents did. 11 years I went through my financial hiccup. Now we're going through this COVID thing. It's all going to work out. So there is no doom and gloom out there. Maybe you don't have a job. Maybe your business went down the tubes and right now you're bankrupt. Ben talked about that. And some of these other people I mentioned here earlier, they've gone through this as well. So, with all that, this was a message for me to share my gratitude to everybody. And I will say this, there's a saying I have. It's called FIDO, which I learned way, way back in the day. Forget it and drive on. And that's what I'm sharing with you here today, everybody. So don't forget, spend some time with your family today. Reach out to people that you haven't maybe reached out in a long time. Just pick up the phone, call them. Hey, better yet, have a virtual call with them. Make it fun. That's what it's all about. And with that, please, as I always tell everybody, be a leader, be a friend, and most important of all, be of service. Once again, this was Mark Gassert, Mark's Message, Peachtree Corners, the peachiest place on the planet. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'll probably be talking to you about some other things involved with Mark's Message via Sales Concepts. And Kirk Smith, wherever you're at, I believe you're in Florida somewhere. Looking forward to next week, my brother, my orchestral conducting brother. Looking forward to you sharing your message with us all. And with that, have a very, very relaxing, propelling Sunday into the week. And I will see you tomorrow.